Morning, guys. It's a get ready with me. Oh, I just moved something. Oh, look at the hair. Okay, so this is get ready for a boring Sunday day. And that, to young ones, might sound like the boring bit is bad. But the boring bit when you're old is good. That's the difference between old people and young people. Anyway, we just love the nothingness. Brush. What did I just flick out of there? Oh gosh, guys, the drawer next to my bed. Anyone else have a drawer next to their bed that's just got stuff? I'm talking all types of lip balms. I'm talking condiments. I eat from my table here. I'm a very medically sick person. But basically, I have condiments in there. I have chewies. I have lip balms, like I said. Lanyards, a magnifying glass, because I'm blind. Lanyards. Pepper spray. Don't fuck with me. And I have a torch with a lot of looms. We know about the torch with a lot of looms. One loom is one candle. That's fascinating. And it actually makes you want to get, because this is 1,000 looms torch, and it makes me want to get 1,000 candles and just test that theory. What if they're lying? What if they're selling me a dodgy 1,000 loom torch? I'd want to know, because if I go camping, we don't have bears, but I promise you we have there's too many things to name that could get you in Australia, but it's not really that bad. Then again, I'm born here, so I guess I'm kind of immune to the fact that, however, Australians, especially, you people have lived here from the day you were born, can you just get smarter? The sharks are eating us, okay? It never used to be like that, but we've overfished. Shame on you, world. But we've overfished. I'm not talking about just the local fisherman that does it for a hobby. Don't pick on them, okay? Most fishermen are very cool men. I don't know what it is about them, but they're always the very chill men, But I'm just saying, pick on the professional, big corporate fishermen with the big boats and stuff, because that's what's making the sharks very hungry. And even sharks are people too. Well, they're not actually, but they're hungry. Just think about that. They're hungry. Anyway, I've got to brush my hair, but I'm OCD to the point where I have a brush cleaner. Every single time I brush my hair, I use this. Shein, $1.60 something, I don't know. So let me brush my hair that is pretty bad. I'm washing it today. I've got some hair colour which is sitting there for a few days now. It took me so long to choose it. I've been overdue to do one, but I wait until the swimming season's over and all the chlorine's done, whatever it's done to my hair, which makes it 3 separate. If I go in the sun, it's 3 separate shades, man. I can't have that. Now, I do have a little bit of grey, but I don't have a lot. Anyone else out there 50, or when you were 50, did you just not get this grey thing? You only got little bits? Because I'm feeling left out of my crowd. Anyway, I'm sure it will happen. And then I can put some pink in my hair and I don't know. I'm probably too old for it. You've got to make sure it suits your face, don't you? See, I can get away with a lot of things that I get to wear and do because of 22Q, Failure to Thrive. Yes, the downside is I didn't really grow up physically. Don't be mean. But also, yes, I am delayed in social, but yeah, also don't be mean. But yeah, I do get to wear things that, guys, at the moment in the shops, what's in the shops was what I wore in high school. And I'm wearing it again, and I'm looking in the mirror and I go, well, I'm definitely not in high school anymore. Trust me, you might think I look young, but I'm telling you, when I was 20 and I had my first baby, I chose to have them young, so screw you if you think young parenting's bad. But I was, that was my first passion, was to be a mum. And basically, when I was 20, there's a photo I'll have to show you one day. Ladies! Thank you. Just pretty singing. Very excited today. It's the birds outside. So basically, yeah, there's one of me like bottle feeding him and snuggling him on one of our rocking chairs, because I always used to rock them when I fed them. And I do look 12. I look 12. I look ridiculously young, and it's like, that's why all the old ladies at the shops, when they found out, yes, it's my kid, it's not my sibling, you know, like, this is my kid. I know when I was with my sister, because we were 16 years apart, they'd be like, I'd have her in a pram or whatever, and they're like, have you got a kid? I'm like, I'm 17. No, this is my little sis. Isn't she cute? And they're just like, oh, I thought it was your kid. And I'm like, no, focus on the fact that I've got this cute sister. She's cool. Like, people thought it was my child. And I was like, no. But I see why. I mean, 16 years is a big gap. Big gap. So it's a bit sad, really. It's harder, I think, on the younger sister that has to deal with that, because she never got to be around me. She never got to be with me. So that's kind of sad, really, being 16 years apart. It's a lot. But I see her as a sister, I don't see her in a motherly way. I see her as a sister, because I know my other sister, I think she expected me to be a mother to her. And it's like, yes, we might be 12 years apart, but I can't be your parent. I'm sorry. Especially when I was like, I think I was 22. I was like, I'm not your parent. I can't be your parent at 20. No, I was older, 24. Yeah, I was 24. And even then, I'm like, I'm 24. I'm a baby myself. Still growing. Still trying to work out life. But anyway, everyone has weird family stuff, don't they? I'm just airing it on to the whole world, I guess. But, you know, anyway, the younger one doesn't like me. The older one, she'll be forced not to like me because of my mother. The power of influence of being the parent. Never do that, guys. Like, I know with my sons, I've always said to them, be best mates, okay? Because no one else is going to love you as much as your brother. Well, at least you better be, you boys, if you're listening to this one day. Your mother said, love each other. Give each other a hug right now. Go. Okay? You used to when you were little. You actually cared about each other. Now, they've always been pretty good. They weren't the type of siblings that fought all the time kind of thing. They really weren't. Considering they're both exact opposites in personality and things that they like and all that. So, good on them. But basically, never make your children, as the parent, step back out of that relationship that they have as adults. As soon as they've left the house, let that be. Never put yourself in it. It's very toxic. It's very toxic. You don't do that. They need to, all you should be doing, and all that they should be hearing, is look after your brother. That's sometimes what I do say. Yeah, of course. But I think every mum says that. Look after you, and if you've got sisters or whatever, look after your brother and sister, or sisters, whatever. It's a mumsy thing. A good mumsy thing. Bad mums like to weaponize them against each other. Like, you know, I want them to hate each other because then I get all the power. That's what happened in my family. It's not healthy. And unfortunately, the flying monkeys, it works because they get all the attention, you see. It's like, well, if you hate her, then I'll give you more. I'll be better to you. But you know what? I wouldn't like to be them in a million years, because I get to be authentically me. I get to not be toxic. I get to live by my faith, which my family all lost. Because even though because my grandparents were the last really to keep hold of it, except for me, I kept it. I kept it very specially held close to me. So anyway, I'm just saying, for me, that's what kept me through a lot of things, is my faith that my parents dropped. Being raised by people of faith, they dropped it. They went, and that's okay. Some people do, but that doesn't mean anything. But it did drop their morals and values and things. Just saying. I'm not saying that's what happens to everybody that's not religious anymore or whatever else. If you've been religious and you're not religious, or you were raised religious and you're not religious, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in my situation, that's what happened. It just got like tainted, I guess. I don't go to organised religion because all they want is money. That's not what it's about. It's about the 10 Commandments. It's pretty simple, really. There's 10. There's just 10. There's not many. And it's about just being kind to yourself and others. Notice how I said self as well? Just be kind. Just be fucking kind, man. Just stop judging. That's the other thing, is stop judging. You know, if you see something good in someone, that is a judgment. Compliments are good. That's an okay judgment. But I'm just saying, like, don't judge and don't be fake. I don't know what they call it in the Bible. They have the old names for things like that. That's why people don't read the Bible and don't understand it. But don't be fake to people. If you don't like someone, it's just actually quite disrespectful to be around them as if you do. It actually is. It actually isn't respecting the person at all. Everyone has the right to not want to be around a certain person, but you should, not hang around them or not speak of them, really, unless it's sometimes. I do agree with criminal things being spoken about, because I do believe that justice, I'm a justice warrior. I can't let those things go. That's why with my talks about my life, it's because I'm against child abuse, and I always will be. I always will advocate for that. I will always say, no, it is never acceptable. And there are a whole X generation that are justifying it. And I want to say to you guys who are X generation, I want you to challenge it and say, well, what if you saw that happen, what happened to you as a child, now in the streets or in public, in front of you right now? Think right now with your brain, however old you are, because X generation is a big scope of age groups. But think about it. Would you not step in and say, what the child do? This, really? That's really matching, say, Autistic kid. Like, they're stupid and they're trying to grow out of being stupid. So you probably would step in and you probably would say, that's just outright rude to speak to a child like that, or outright wrong. I know even parent to parent, I always used to say it to my partner. If I didn't like how he parented, or vice versa, we would say it. No, I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. Even in front of the children sometimes, yeah, I did. Because I didn't want my kids to think that that was okay. I wanted to have my say, even though it probably wasn't heard, but to say, I don't like it. So I'm just saying, we all need pulling up at times. That's called being an adult. And we just take it on the chin and we pull our little socks up and we go, because us autistics, how many times do we get things wrong? So guys, happy Autism Acceptance Month, but at the same time, how hard was it? With everything, and you do something and you get punished and you go, but what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And you're sitting in your room and you bang your head against the wall. Well, that's what I did. One of my things. I have very intense meltdowns. Females tend to have intense meltdowns because of emotions. We have the hormones. Not fair. Not fair. No, that's for my dolls now. And that's for my handbags. There's no space for you. You have a very, look at behind me. You have a very expensive cat tree. I know it's not a tree. We all know it's not a tree. Calm down. Sir Junior, this is Willow, the 8-year-old, the senior. Go to your bed. Sweet baby, over here. What is he? He's trying to get the birds, isn't he? All right, my youngest, Max, who is, how many months old is he now? I guess he's like coming up to 5 months old. I think somewhere between 4 and 5 months old. Could even be a little bit older because I am neurologically whacked. That's my dolls. You can sit next to it. They are my baby dolls. They're my friends. Yeah, they're my friends. And I know, aren't they pretty? They got the best hair ever. Wish my hair looked like that every day. But basically, how many times do we not know what we did wrong? So I always think that it's just, I guess if I was to give advice to any autistic parent out there, you know, if the same thing keeps happening and repetitive discipline has to happen, and then that can cause a meltdown as well because they don't know how to handle the discipline part. Not all the time it does. A lot of the time, you know, I know as a kid there was times where I knew I'd done something wrong, and I would just go to my room or accept the spanking because X generation would get hit. I'd be like, I did something wrong. And I knew. I was like, well, I guess I pulled apart the clock radio because I wanted to see how it worked and thought I could just put it back together, but didn't succeed. So I deserved that. I knew the times where I deserved punishment. I don't agree with the old-fashioned punishment, but that's what everyone got. But when I had a meltdown, because there was a connection to do with the punishment of something autistic, it wasn't understanding, or it was confusing, or I was like, that was my special interest and she was interrupting it, and I was like, what are you doing? How can you say that's wrong? This is good. Like, for example, I remember one thing is I broke a temperature measure. So because I was such a sick kid, and my mum would check my temperature because there's so many infections I had, so many problems I had, and she had this little thermometer you put under your tongue to check our temperature. And I was like doing this when she was like, I think maybe she was getting the medicine out or whatever, and I'm doing this and I'm looking at the little silver stuff inside and I'm like, what's that? She's like, it's very poisonous, never touch it. If this breaks, never touch it. She shouldn't have said that. She shouldn't have said that. Now, if she knew she had an autistic child and she spoke to Tony Atwood, Professor Tony Atwood, do you know him? You should know him if you have an autistic child, whether an adult or not. Shouldn't have said that. Anyway, there was a day where I broke it on purpose, accidentally, on purpose, and I picked it up and I was playing with it. It's mercury. I did that. And she caught me and she's like, what are you doing? Go wash your hands now. And she dealt with the mess. And I was like, I was having fun. That stuff is cool. It's from outer space. It's got to be from outer space. And I wash my hands and I come back and I'm like, and of course says we have to wash our hands. My mum is OCD. I swear to God. I think both my parents are, and that's why I've got it. But also perfectionism. Both have it. Now they gave that curse to me. But also, like, I knew how to wash my hands properly. My mum was a, what would you call it? A hygiene freak. Okay, hygiene freak. She wasn't tidy, really. She became tidy when she became with money. But no, she wasn't tidy, but she was very clean. And so I came back and I got into big trouble. And I didn't understand why. And so I do go into meltdowns. I used to come home from school in meltdowns. And I used to get punished for it in ways that you shouldn't punish a child for anything. It's actually illegal now. And even back then, the type that it turned into was more than just a wooden spoon, more than just a spatula. So yeah, some things are illegal, fact. But in Australia, even now, it is very difficult to get justice for children, guys. I know I've got a lot of American followers, and guys, I want to tell you the truth about Australia. You can beat the shit out of your child, they will just not do anything, especially if you come from privilege. If you are clean, dressed appropriately, have a home, the home is clean, the family is all productive, whatever else, they will not do anything. They will not do anything. You can report as a woman anything to do with, you know what the worst things are that we hear about all the time. They talk on TV that they so-called want justice from, but they don't protect any of us from any age group online. Don't go to the police. They don't care. There's no justice. You will never get justice. And the stats are of the ones that actually get, sentenced, 0.6%. Now, I've studied statistics, 3 units at university. I think I know what I'm talking about with statistics. That pretty much is such an anomaly, meaning you've got the curve and this dot is in space. Wipe it off the face of the earth, so to speak, because it's in space. It's not here. Don't even try, because what they'll actually do is shame you. They defend these things, guys, and the truth needs to be out there in Australia. So when you hear these conspiracy theorists about what I'm talking about, I just want you to know this. I'm telling the truth. So Australia is needs to pick up their game. But I know you Americans know this too, because I know your system isn't perfect and you have a lot of problems going on. So, and Canada, and many other places. So, but I'm just saying, and with an autistic female, for a female it's 1 in 4, but it's turned to 1 in 3 now. But for autistics, we are 4 times more likely than a typical female without, like a neurotypical female, a female without autism. So pretty much every autistic girl has had something happen by 18. Not okay. Not good enough. We need to do better. We need to do better. So that also means there's a lot of men. We need to do better. And I know with IT, we could be doing better. That's all I'm going to say. It's pretty corrupt. So, and you've seen a lot of things on the Netflix, haven't you? Yes. Okay? Get your kids off social media. As in, like, having their own channels and, you know, putting themselves out there. Like, I don't mind the basic family vloggers and all that. That's not, they don't do that type of thing. Unless they're a family vlogging channel that does do those things, as in, like, they do things that aren't normal. You know what I mean? There is a normal and a not normal. But, so it's not black and white. I'm sorry, I'm not with those, you know, gossip channels like that are sort of so black and white thinkers that it's like, you know, it's just this way. It's like, no, I was a child performer. I would have been angry if you didn't let me do my performing as a kid in my dancing. I worked since 3 years old to be a dancer and didn't stop until 21. Okay? I'm sorry, but don't tell me that I've just done my PhD in dance. That no, you're not allowed to do this career. That'd be like saying to the boys, you can't play football. Or whatever their favourite thing is. No, like girls love dancing. And, you know, basically it's a lot of work. You put in a lot of work. So being a child performer, there's nothing wrong with it. You just need protection. Because that's the other thing. You know, that's why in that thing, I found it wonderful. They put the dancer in there to say, please don't put yourself out there or be careful dancing on these social medias, which I thought was another good point. We do need to think of that, because that is another thing that, unfortunately, so it's not black and white. There's a lot of grey. But yeah, so there's a lot of things to consider. But autistics, when they're young, protect them on social media too. Do it in a collaborative way with your child, particularly when they're transitioning, they're just an adult, or even if they're a teen, but they're old enough to be on the apps. I know there's courses, so look around for courses, but some of them I don't agree with because I don't think they do enough. I think they're too basic. So I know I'll probably talk more about this in a separate video, because that whole safety online for boys and girls, men and women on social media as an autistic is a big topic, because we are bullied, I don't know what percentage higher in general, so that includes social media. So now that I'm 50 and got a bigger toolbox, it's easier for me, but there needs to be a lot of education. So I will try and help with that, and I will absolutely go deep into that in a separate video. So do look out for that if that's something you want, because it will be coming anyway, with, you know, whether you guys want it or not, because I'm providing it for someone else who I know will on this channel want to see it. And there's many other autistic topics. Get ready for. We are actually producing this for people who work with disability, to understand not only disability, but autistics who are disabled. Autistics who autistics in general, actually, they don't have to be disabled, but I do consider autism a disability, not because of the medical model of there's something wrong with us, because of the social model of the world does not make it for us as well. we do all the work. We have to do everything for the neurotypical to make them understand us. It's exhausting. But anyway, I'm hoping to be one of the people that changes that in the world, just like all the rest of you that might be out there talking about autism. So there'll be lots of autistic yeah, brain just went. It did a backflip. Gosh, I wish I had an EEG on right now. I'd be like, scientist lady, come in, please. What happened? What happened to the brain just then? Like a, 11:19. What happened? What happened to my brain? So anyway, there's more to come about autism. So if you're needing that, we're going to have other videos too. Don't worry. I'm not saying that it's going to be just that. I am a vlogging channel. General stuff is going to be shown. But I'm just saying, get ready for a lot of autistic, disability stuff too, but autistic specific stuff, because for autistics, they need it. And also me, who's very physically disabled, I'm still autistic. So when they're working with me with my physical disability, they're not just working with a person with a physical disability, they're working with an autistic with a physical disability. And just because I'm 50, you don't grow out of autism, guys. Remember that. I'm still autistic. So I still have special needs in that way. So education coming on that, and hopefully in a fun way as well. And hopefully in a great informational way for the ones that need it. And this even goes to aged care, because I'm telling you, people in aged care, there's a lot of autistics. If you've got ones that have their little collections and they've got lots of certificates, and they're really focused on one specific or a few specific special interests, and they've had really, really amazing jobs, and interesting lives, probably an autistic. So if they're like me and they're like, I don't know, one of their things is planes, and you talk to them about planes because they've got all these planes in their room, or a plane picture, or they were working in the Air Force or something, talk to them about that a lot, because they will just blossom and open up, because that's where their heart is. That's where their life was. And one thing that I know, which only some of us that live with conditions that are life-threatening know, is everything to us. When we know that life is so short, we know we can't guarantee that we have tomorrow. We just want to focus on all the good things that we have done, and do good things, and have good things going on around us. But a lot of memories flood us. That's why you're hearing so many stories of every aspect of my life. That's what happened the day I knew my life limiting by 25, 30 years, my high chance of just suddenly dying. And it really opened up my perspective on what is life all about. And it really is about your passion, your hobbies. And if they've turned that into like I said, a job, like I said, planes and Air Force and whatever, using that, because that's my most recent thing that I got to enjoy. It's only one of my small special interests, but it is intensely exciting for me. I've still got more places to go for that. But basically, if you see that kind of thing, talk to them about planes. Ask them questions. Let them speak their passion. Because that's what keeps them going too. It's what keeps them on this earth as well. So, disability and aged care tip there. Because, you know, we can call them aged. You know, they're in aged homes. Let's just not be ageist, okay? They're just people, okay? They just look older. We never really grow up, except for just get more awareness and more experience of life. But our body changes because it has to. That's the aging process. That's normal because you don't live forever. We're not a robot. But these people are fascinating to talk to. So find out what they did for society. And you know what? Then speak it. I know that confidentiality, you should never mention names. Always remember that. Stick to what the rules are. And you should never give locations of where they are or whatever else. Nothing. But what you can do is share those stories of inspiration of what these people did to younger people. So that they can say, well, I want to look back when I'm old and say, I did this and I did that and I did this and I'm really happy about it. Because life is about experiences, not about what you own. It's about experiences. We always look at the experiences. Love you all. Hope that's some bits of information for some people, or just for you guys who, I don't know, trying to understand if someone's going through. I know a lot of my friends, they're losing their parents for aging, dying processes. Hopefully this is helpful for people in those situations that just need to know. Disability, that's the yucky side that is in it for some. Anyway, bye. I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later.